listening to the Positive Professional Podcast with your host, me, Tracy Yvonne. This podcast is a weekly conversation about all things mental health, self-care, and wellness. And there'll be sprinkles of positivity, mindfulness, and guided meditations. Have you heard of Verbal? Verbal is an audio streaming destination for all types of audio creators like myself, and anyone that loves listening to audio. Verbal supports audio creators through their station model and helps listeners connect to meaningful content to listen to. And a few other things that makes Verbal special is the unique creator tools such as snippets and playlists, better discovery, streaming, it's free, and users can start monetizing right away by joining the Ambassador program or with only 1,000 station listens a month. I'm proud to say that I'm a Verbal Ambassador, a chosen thought leader in the category of mental health. And you can learn more as well as check out my podcast station and my curated mental health playlist at www.verbal.com. That's www.verbal.com. Welcome back to Season 3, Episode 6. And today's topic is going to be various ways that you can journal for your mental health. And the first type of journal I want to talk about is how to create a trigger tracking journal. Now, being triggered is a phrase that's used in social media, news reports, and in daily conversation. The phrase refers to the emotional reaction that you may have to certain topics. You may become upset, angry, afraid, or a mixture of all emotions depending on the topic. The bigger the issue with being triggered is when you don't really know why you were triggered and how to deal with it. And that is where a trigger tracking journal comes in. So the first thing to think about is how to set up this trigger tracking journal. Now, these journals are a bit different than other journals in the sense that there is no real setup. They are designed for you to pour out all of your thoughts as they come to you. And they are meant to be an area to rant and rave about what has occurred and what has triggered you. You're also meant to write down how you were triggered. And you should let it all out, including how you feel, why you feel that way, and anything at all that comes to mind. This journal is for your eyes only, so don't hold back. And just say what you feel, because it all comes back to the trigger itself. Now, trigger tracking journals are an immediate response journaling method. You don't want to wait to write in this journal. You want to do it at the time you feel the emotion. And this allows you to get your thoughts out without really thinking them over and without removing some of the thoughts that you are having because you feel that they're wrong or bad. If possible, use the journal at the moment or just following the moment. Now remember, the longer you wait to use this type of journal, the less effective it is. And trigger tracking journals work in several ways. First is to give you an immediate outlet for the emotions that you're feeling from being triggered. The second way that they are used is to give you something to reflect on. Now you should go back and look at the entries at least once a week and make one entry about your thoughts on the previous week's entries. The third way this helps is by helping you to see who or what is triggering you on a routine basis. This allows you to begin to remove that from your daily life and help you to reduce triggers and stress. Now, you can use nearly anything to keep track and journal. Keep in mind that you want to use a journaling method that's easy to grab, easy to write in, and easy to carry with you. You never know when you may feel triggered, and having an option with you is the best way to combat it if journaling works for you. So now I'm going to explain how to create and use a mood journal. And if you've been noticing that you're finding yourself easily triggered or falling into certain negative moods, or that you can't seem to change your mood when you need to, then you may need a mood journal. And mood journals can help you determine not only what put you in a certain mood, but also what to focus on to remove negativity from your life and reduce bad moods. Now, a mood journal can be set up in various ways. One way that people find that works well for them is to have a strip at the top of each daily page that has various faces. And these faces can range from a full smile to a full frown or even pain. This allows you to simply pick the emotion you are. Now, this is the first step. Underneath this strip of faces can be other strips or just an area for you to write your thoughts on the mood that you're having. Other strips that you can use are scales that show how happy or sad that you are. And you can expand on these as you need to. Mood journals are ideal for moments in your day when you find yourself in extreme of the mood. Most people start mood journals as a way to focus on why they may be sad, depressed, or feeling anxious and work through those issues. Many users of mood journals feel a rush from seeing their lives and their entries go from negative extreme to positive extreme over time. Mood journals help you to focus on you. Now, this may sound odd, but if you're going through an emotional or a mood extreme, you may focus on the problem or emotion and not on yourself. By writing down your thoughts and recognizing the emotion or mood connected to them, you can help to bring the focus back to you and making your life a bit better from the journal entries and routine. Mood journals are similar to trigger journals in the sense that both are done at the time of the emotion. This means that they should be an option that is easy to take with you and use when you need to journal. In the next segment, I'm going to talk about how to use a stress and gratitude journal. Today's episode is brought to you by Ivy Elite Training. Are you looking for low-cost professional development workshops, topics like emotional intelligence, diversity and inclusion, and more? Then visit www.ivyelitetraining.com. That's www.ivyelitetraining.com. Okay, so now I'm going to get into how to make and use a stress journal. And stress can lead to multiple health issues, including heart problems, breathing issues, and more. You may end up with anxiety and even severe depression. And all of this is from stress. And relieving stress may not seem to be easy for some. And part of the reason is due to not knowing what is triggering your stress. And this is where a stress journal comes in. So a stress journal can be set up in several different ways, but there is one way that seems to work well for most people. And this is a method that uses a mix of visual aids, journaling, and routine reflection. Now, you don't need dates for this type of journal. You simply write in it as you need to and as you feel a stress issue is coming on. You may use visuals that represent your mood, and these can be pictures, smiley faces, or if you're using your phone, emojis. After expressing your mood for the moment, you can then begin to journal on what's causing that mood and the stress that you are experiencing. And you may find that your journal becomes a hybrid of a stress and mood journal, which is fine and just as beneficial. You should be using a stress journal when you feel a stress in your life. If you have a moment that's triggering you or you find yourself very stressed and no way of getting rid of the stress, then you should use the journal. Ideally, what you will be doing is following through with the routine reflections on those entries. That means that you are seeing where your root issues with stress are happening and why. You can even reflect on why you're experiencing this stress and if there's a deeper issue that may require more focus. The stress journal helps you by helping you to get to the root of your problem. And like most journals of this type, reflection on your entries are key. But so is being able to rant about the stresses that you're feeling. True statements of how you feel will come out, and reflecting on those later may be the key to finding out something about yourself and your stress that you didn't see before. Remember, the key point of using a stress relief journal is in the review of the journal itself. Keeping a routine journal is the first step, but when you go back and review the journal, you'll find out what's causing the stress. You can then remove it slowly to help reduce your stress and live a happier life. And the last journal I'm going to talk about is how to create and use a gratitude journal. Gratitude journals generally resemble a mixture of a traditional journal and bullet journal. They are not really meant for full-blown journal entries. Instead, they focus on very specific moments or events in your day that you can feel grateful for. And you don't have to elaborate on them. Simply find the good in each day. The journal page should have the date and possibly the time if you're writing down the events as they happen. Now, the key to this journal is to use a bullet style to mark each event or gratitude and to reflect on those at the end of the day. Ideally, you should use the gratitude journal at the end of the day, and it ideally should be used as a way to reflect on the good things that happened during your day. And there will be some days that you may only be grateful for the day ending so you can get some needed rest. And that is fine. The point is, no matter how bad your day is, you're finding something to be thankful for or the gratitude in that day. A gratitude journal works a bit slower than other journaling methods. And ideally, the journal is supposed to help you remove negative energy from your life, reduce stress, and reduce depression by finding the good in your world. You may start off with just 1 or 2 entries, and as you move on with your journaling routine, you may find that you're finding less bad and much more good in your day. These are the gratitudes you list. This will lead you to mindfulness and peace in your daily life and a new way to look at things. A gratitude journal can be as simple as a few lines or just 1 line, and you can put it in your normal calendar, planner, tablet, or even your phone. Just make sure that you find at least one thing to be grateful for in each day, no matter how bad the day was. Thanks for listening and supporting this podcast. And make sure you're clicking the like and subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Stay safe, be well, and don't forget to be the best version of you.